Warning, you are about to enter the BGP suite. No thongs, no boy shorts, no thigh highs, no commandos are permissible. BGP, big girl panties only. So pull up to woman up. And no, please don't leave with your panties in a bunch.
The only foundation that this young lady has is the foundation on her face. Welcome to BGP, because today we're going to be talking about Brittany Renner, who I'm going to rename the biracial Superhead Jr.
Ooh, not Superhead Jr.
Not because of what that mouth do, but because of what that mouth says. And we'll be discussing that later on during the broadcast. So let's do a quick recap. May 2021. Brittany Renner and her then boyfriend, NBA basketball player for the Charlotte Hornets, Mr. PJ Washington, had a beautiful baby boy. July 2021, Brittany Renner decided that she didn't want to play anymore. So she took her toys, the baby, broke up the relationship, and went home. September 2021, Brittany Renner did not one, not two, but 3 lives on her Instagram page. The first one, she announced that it was going to be stepdaddy season.
Wow.
Baby's not even 4 months old. We haven't seen a child since July. We know nothing about her maternal instincts, about her nurturing for this newborn baby, which we'll be discussing later. But Brittany needs a couple of more of those ballpark franks on her grill. The second video that she produced on Instagram a couple of days later, she was saying that for the last couple of months, and these are her words, her life has been a shit show. But her and her baby, gonna be all right. And, you know, she kind of went biblical and was like, and this too should pass.
Wow.
I think it was maybe a week and a half later, Brittany went on and she used the mantra of, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Well, Brittany says that you do not have to pick because she's both. So we'll be discussing those 3 lives later on in the broadcast. So, ladies, for some of our audience that may not know who Brittany Renner is, who is Brittany Renner?
A hoe.
Oh, shit.
A hoe and a scammer.
I mean, she's a hoe. She is. She's always been. All your celebrities know who she is. All the celebrity males know who she is. She's never she's never been like secretive about what she does. She's gone on interviews in the past to talk about how certain, celebs that did try to wine and dine her, how they would take her out and she would have sex with them, right? So she a hoe. I don't understand why we surprised. Like, she tells you up front what her mouth do.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's my answer.
Yeah, she's not secretive about it, and that's what even more so makes her a hoe, because she don't care. She and I think what I had read is that she could get $2.4 million on what, I don't know if it's annually, for child support. So she knows what she's doing. This is her game. This is her thing that she does. I even saw a recording where she was saying,
Hold up. We going too far because I got the timeline.
Okay.
I just want to know who she was.
Who she is.
And an influential hoe.
There it is. She's
an influencer on how to be a high class hoe.
Described her perfectly. She she just has no shame whatsoever. Every video I have seen of her, she just talks very openly and freely about what she does. That's her game.
Okay. Pause. Brittany Renner is a stop sign, a red light, a caution sign, a train wreck, an airplane crash, a volcano, a tsunami. She's everything. She's so many flags that the game should be over before it even begins. Right. we know Brittany Renner to be a Instagram influencer, right? She has millions of followers.
Yeah.
She is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So let's get into how Brittany Renner got the way that she is. So I did a little research on Brittany Renner, and when you go back, Brittany Renner was born in Ontario, Ohio, where the population is less than 6,000. The demographics is 90% Caucasian and 4% white. Now, at the time, her mother was 19 years old, and in this sea of whiteness, she wanted a little pepper. So she got impregnated by a black man. So let's talk about Brittany Renner's mother. Brittany Renner's mother, according to Brittany, was chasing penis more than she was trying to raise her children. Her and Brittany, according to Brittany, had a very toxic relationship, and we just did a broadcast about toxic mothers and daughters, and what she said was that at 8 years old, her mother asked them would they like to move to Mississippi, and of course, they wanted to get closer to their white grandparents. So they said yes. They didn't know that she was going to drop them off and get ghosts. So her grandparents virtually raised her and her siblings. So she said her and her mother would get into fights, and that they got into a fight so bad one time that she put a knife on her mother. And she said she had her hair so tight that she could feel her acrylic nails lifting off of her fingers. Wow. So she said her mother did what we know white women to do, which we call Karens. She said her mother threatened to call the police on her. She said she fled, and that's how she got back with her grandparents. Now, that's a red flag right there. Well, that's two red flags. Red flag number one for me is that she's biracial. That means the young lady is conflicted with herself. She does not, her mama couldn't teach her nothing because her mama left her. She's not good enough to be on the black side. She's not good enough to be on the white side. She's not accepted really on either one of those sides. That's a red flag for me. To know that and the reason why I'm bringing up red flags is because men oftentimes tell women that we do not properly vet men, but this lady has
flag, 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 flag on the play, flag on the play, flag, flag.
Fireworks going off. Boom, 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 boom. So some of you don't know how to properly vet women your own self. So the biracial thing was a conflict for me, and would be a conflict with men as well as women when she's dealing with them. And then the violence. So we see that already she's going to be violent. So let's talk about Brittany Renner's father. Brittany Renner's father was African American. She said in her book he was an alcoholic. She never met him until she was 15 years old. Maybe right before he was to parole, she started writing him letters. She met him. She was half of him, but he didn't know half of her. So she really didn't have any interest in her father. Red flag. So now this red flag for me is abandonment issues from men.
And women.
And that's what I'm saying. And part two, she got it from the mama side, abandonment issues on the daddy side. Train wreck.
And just some of the confusion that comes along with being biracial.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
not being able to fit in. So
pick a side, not to pick a side,
Brittany said that she really didn't like school. She made her way through high school and she found solace in soccer. So she actually got a full scholarship for soccer to attend Jackson State University in Mississippi. Now, Jackson State is a predominantly black college. I would say 92% black, 0.03 or 4 white. Her first, let's say, serious relationship, because this relationship lasted 4 years. According to her book, she had dated or slept with one person before she got with this actual young man. Jackson State being predominantly black, in the sea of blackness, she chose some salt. Her boyfriend, she did the opposite of what her mother did, who chose a black man. She chose a white boy. Now, this white boy has a very interesting background. He, in 2008, got into an altercation. Him and his friends were out and a fight ensued. It was said that he hit the young man one time, but his friends went on to beat this young man to death. That was in 2008. There's a method to my madness here. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to connect this. He took a plea deal. He served 6 months in prison. How would you think that would have been for a black man?
That wouldn't have been the case. He would have received a harsher sentence.
25 to life.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold that thought. So, in 2010, this young man, whose name is Casey Theriot, met Brittany Renner. They got together in 2011. He said what should have been a hit it or quit it ended up being a horribly functioning relationship, because I found this on his blog. And they couldn't keep their hands off one another. Here's the tea. I'm about to spit it out. He was, at that time, in a committed relationship with another woman for 5 years. That woman was actually his ride or die when he went to prison. So, the funny thing about this man, as we're talking about the sentence that a black man would have had, this man went on to become the star quarterback at Jackson, Mississippi, and they coined him the White Tiger. Do we think a black man would have ever gotten the second chance to have a felony charge and then go to college?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We know better.
So she was a soccer player. He was a star
Footballer.
quarterback, and that's how they met. That's another red flag. That's another red flag for me, because remember, I just said he was in a full-blown relationship with another woman for 5 years. So Brittany Renner tried to say that she was the other woman, not the side chick, because we always try to come up with these clever little titles to make it look better than what it is.
Yeah.
So they were in this relationship. Eventually, he had to tell the girl that he had been with. She tried to work it out with him. He wanted to break it off with her. Long story short, the lady said she was going to kill herself. So he broke it off with Brittany. That only lasted for a couple of weeks, and they got back together, and he broke it off with the woman that he was with for 5 years. So they got together. He never made it in the football league in the United States. He went on to be a football player in the German football league, but they got together in college. Well, he was a couple of years older than her, too. She ended up moving in with him, with his parents, and they lived in the basement. He was able to do what he wanted to do, pursue his football. The parents didn't like her. She didn't have no friends. She barely could keep a job. But the thing that I want to get across right now is that everything that could happen in a relationship happened in that relationship. She became bisexual. There was violence in the relationship. There was control of the relationship. There were threesomes and foursomes. However, he did help her do something good. Brittany Renner said that she wanted to do something to uplift her family, so she decided that she was going to be a fitness trainer. So they got together. Now, one spot said that they hired a manager. We got 5 minutes. And the other spot said that one article said that they hired a manager. The other article said that he was actually her manager, and they got marketing plan together to market her as a fitness trainer. Well, on Vlad TV, she did an interview, and he was asking her why she broke up with Casey, and she said she really didn't want to talk about it because she really cared about him, blah, blah, blah. So, Vlad being who he is, he asked her a leading question, was it about social media? Which she replied, yes, that once her career took off, he became jealous and blah, 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 blah. They were together for a minute. I think that he used her to get every sexual fantasy that he wanted out of her. He got to do anything that he wanted. And every relationship after that was her trying to get back or seek revenge against or find some kind of solace or find some closure with the relationship that she had with Seth. What do y'all think? You don't know. I think there's a lot of red flags there, and that's what I'm saying. That's how she kind of became the Brittany Renner who she is because of that relationship. Because here's the thing. Don't we kind of compare our next relationships and measure them to the first man that we thought we was madly in love with?
Absolutely. I think
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just saying, sometimes when we think we're in love, we're not actually in love.
True.
But when we think that this was our love, the love of our life, which she said he was the love of her life, she did any and everything for him.
And that sounds like that's what she did.
The next person, well, Johnny used to do it like this, or Johnny used to buy me this, or Johnny used to treat me like this, regardless if it's positive or negative.
Exactly.
See, I agree with you. And I'm sure we'll tap into it. I guess my gripe with it is, it just seems like every relationship that came about after the first one was with someone that was with someone else, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And that's a red flag.
Yeah, she just, and I don't know the depth of her upbringing, but the abandonment, I'm sure, plays a huge role in why she made these decisions that she makes, and wanting to feel wanted, wanting to feel a connection to someone, and you just are kind of out there.
Right.
So I think it gets really, really deep as to why she ended. Because as I'm listening to the story, yeah, she has some hoish ways, okay, but where does this coming from? You know what I mean? And as we get further into it, it just really gets crazy. So yeah.
So we're going to take a break right quick, and we're going to come back because we're going to land this plane. And it's a whole lot of baggage in the belly that we have to unpack.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, the plane has landed. Let's land this plane in. All right.
Okay, so we are back, and we knew to take a break from this story because we knew Brittany Renner was going to be up to some more of her shenanigans. So we are going to talk about her meltdown when she had an interview with DJ Academics. But before we do this, earlier in the broadcast, I said that Ontario, Ohio was 96% Caucasian and 4% white. I need to correct that before you guys tear me up in the comment section. Ontario, Ohio is 96% Caucasian and 4% black. So where do we begin? Are we going to talk about her first videos where she said it's stepdaddy season? We're going to talk about my comparison, why I call her the biracial Superhead Junior. Are we going to talk about PJ Washington? Where we're going to start these shenanigans?
I say we leave PJ for last, but I mean we could start with why you call her Superhead Junior.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2005, video vixen Corinne Steffens, aka Superhead. If you do not know who Superhead is, let Google be your best friend. She penned a tell-all book entitled Confessions of a Video Vixen, where she basically told on everybody that she had been with in the industry. And she talked about their sexual performances. And so she was really the first female to come out and do something like this. And this was back in the day where Wendy Williams was still on the radio. So when they got wind of it, they were like, she's going to be in trouble. There's going to be a lot of backlash. She's going to start getting death threats, on and on and on. And I think that, if I'm correct, because it's been a long time since I read the book, that at first she stopped getting the phone calls. And then she stopped getting her phone calls answered. So then she started telling the men that she was going to kind of blackmail them if they didn't, pick up the phone. So Corinne Steffens got done to her what you guys now will call being flued out. She got flued out. She got all the material trappings, the money, the jewelry, the clothes, the video jobs. She got her rent paid for. She could go out with a businessman and just sit with him at dinner and get money. She was involved with entertainers, rappers, singers, athletes, businessmen, actors, so have you. And if you read the book, the way she titled some of the chapters or the way she described them, you could kind of pinpoint who those people were. And so there was a lot of backlash because a few of those men were married. There was actually one man, he was big and tall, so he had custom furniture that he had to have made because he wanted to be comfortable when he was in the house. So with Corinne Steffens, she thought this was her safety net. She thought that the jobs were never going to cease. So she did a part 2 to her book. She went on to do some sexual things, and she kind of made a little niche for herself. I think the only problem with her is she didn't know how to save some of that money. She thought this was going to last forever. She started drinking and drugging, and it kind of caused her demise. But she kind of, made some profit out of her little being tossed around. Fast forward to Brittany Renner, and she wrote Judge the Cover in the same manner that Corinne Steffens had did Confessions, where she depicted 7 men that she had been with and those escapades. But when you look at it in comparison, Brittany Renner wasn't getting flued out. Brittany Renner was basically flying herself out. Brittany Renner, and it's been a minute since I read that book, but I don't remember her getting anything. I don't remember her getting any gifts or getting. She got
dick.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
Plenty of that.
She got the DD's discount.
Yeah.
Dick and drink, drug and dick.
And then sent home.
And that's what she got. And she was also getting tossed around. So that's why I'm calling her the biracial Superhead Junior. She seems to think that she's winning and she's not. So that's why I kind of made that comparison between the two of them. So Brittany Renner did an Instagram video announcing Stepdaddy season. Would you say that was the beginning of her meltdown? Because when you look at Neisha, she had just had the baby in May. Here it is, September. She talking about Stepdaddy season, big energy, big lumber. Yeah, only need to apply.
She could be going through it, but I truly think she's been having a meltdown for years. I just think, having that baby just kind of pushed it to the forefront, and she's used to being in front of that camera, getting the attention, good or bad. It makes her feel good. So I don't know. I can't necessarily say that was the start of her meltdown. I think she's always had it. It's just what she's doing in that video, and now per se is just it's a bad look overall. But she's been needing some therapy. She's been needing some help.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think she's been on the decline, if you will, and so she's trying to find ways to. I love the comparison to Superhead. She's exactly that
the younger
way.
Version.
Yeah, she's the younger version.
Yeah.
She's looking to make money off of this sleazy way that she is, and she's definitely diving, but she's trying to pick up pick up some momentum by doing some of these things that she's doing.
Sorry.
Go.
Because it's to me, I just think it's funny because it's like with Superhead, everybody knew who she was. And so, like you said, they did fly her out. They did give her gifts, houses, whatever, right? She had the deeds. She even got a celeb to marry her. But with Brittany, on the other hand, she can't name some of them because they made her sign NDAs, right? So she can't name them, but she can speak in little riddles to be like, give you a clue. Or in the ones that she did hook up with, like it literally, she's like, they got what they wanted and sent her on her way. It was never like, here's the deed to some property, or here's a ring, or here's that. For the older gentleman, right? Yeah. But that's, in my opinion, why she went down as far as getting with someone that was fresh out of college, because the older ones was like,
they already knew what time it was.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not messing with you. I know what you about. I'm not messing with you. So, yeah, it's interesting.
I think this is a different type of meltdown for her because there's a child involved. And you know, we all know when you have that first baby, that's a big chore. Yeah. That's a big change in your life. You know, some babies sleep 8 hours, they sleep 4 hours, some sleep 2 hours, some, have little cat naps, some it's 2 a.m. and they're like, hey, how are you? And I think that she is not able to get up and go like she wants to. This is not a doll. This is a living being. And I don't think that she was prepared for the backlash that she was going to get for having this child with this young man. And she's going through it. And she's feeling some type of way. And she's trying to make it look like that she has unlocked the formula for the art of hoism in a manner that every other slow female that follows her would subscribe to and think that they would be successful. Then she came back with the second video talking about her and her baby is going to be all right. Oh, no, wait. Let me go back to the first video. Don't let your baby daddy or your baby mama cause you to be unhappy. And it's ghetto to be a baby mama. Then why did you become a baby mama? Because we're going to get back to that when we talk about that meltdown. Oh, yeah. So remember she said it's ghetto, and then she goes to DJ Academics and she says something else. So then she did another video kind of saying that, her life has been a shit show for a couple of months, and soon as she decided to choose what was best for her, then she gets all the backlash, and shouldn't it be easier? And in actuality, she said it was harder. But you were in a relationship, so why were you trying to do something just to make yourself happy?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, that kind of debunks what was said in that current interview, because she was about self. She was about keeping herself relevant by any means necessary, trying to come up on the next come up. And in this case, it just happens to be a young gentleman, a younger guy that's fresh out. Even though he's fresh out of college, I just look at it as fresh out of high school, per se, because he was that young. Hold that.
So then her next video, she went in and said, you can't, it's been said that you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Well, she's both.
Right, exactly.
I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but if I had to diagnose Brittany Renner, I would say she has a split personality disorder. I would say that she's bipolar. I do not want to make fun of people with Tourette's syndrome because that is a very serious disease that they cannot control. But I would say she has a mild case of Tourette's syndrome too, because she's always blurting out something. And what I really think about Brittany Renner, I think Brittany Renner is doing the Eminem 8 Mile kind of thing. When he was, I don't know if you guys seen 8 Mile.
I did.
Okay, and then he was doing that battle rap, and the guy got him, and he got the guy, and then his friend pulled him to the side, and he kind of said, like, he's about to talk about you. Yeah. He's going to bring up your past.
Oh, yeah.
And so Eminem got out there, and he said, yes, I live in a trailer park. Yes, my mother is on drugs.
Just put it
yes,
out there.
He put it out there because we always think if we put it out before other people, it's better. And I think that's what Brittany Renner is trying to do. She's trying to convince herself, along with other people, that she loves being a slut, and this is what she chose to be, blah, blah, blah. Kind of, like a Eminem type of thing. And she's a freaking liar. So, Then I saw a video of her. It was around October. She was in a club on a counter twerking with her booty to the camera, but the caption said, "I'm a good mom." The girl is freaking
Sick.
delusional. She is really sick. So I've been watching other YouTubers, and they were saying at least she's transparent. At least she's honest.
That makes a difference.
What do you think about that?
That's crazy.
It is.
That is batshit crazy. It's not about being transparent. There's just some things you don't do.
Right.
And I'm not all for judging people, but I know that the moment I became a mom was the moment I knew that my life, it's not about my life, it's about my child's life, right? So the moves I make will always affect my child. That's how I look at it. So I'm not putting myself in a position for something that can affect her down the line. Like her son?
Son.
Yeah, son. Because she named him after the dad.
boy.
He's like the third or whatever. But her son will have this to look at when he gets older. Right, her son will be his friends will be like, "That's your mama. Your mama a hoe, huh?
Yes.
Your mama wrote a book about being a hoe,
Yes.
huh? Your like, that's something that I would not want for my child. It's not about being transparent. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And and we as women, like as moms, this is the issue that we keep facing when we don't share that truth and train and teach our daughters how to move differently, how to move smart, how not to be a hoe. To survive these days.
Yeah.
No, that's not being transparent. That's being nasty.
Yeah. And I remember reading about her childhood. She did have a kind of rough childhood, but at the same time, like you said, now you're a mother. This stuff, in this day and age, we are in a time of technology. These people are going to be able to pull up these videos from a long time ago. She have not thought about how that's going to affect her son. And even in comparison with Superhead, same situation. That stuff is, although it's going to be old, it's going to come up again. And kids can be cruel. She didn't think about that. She didn't think about it when she was up there giving basically a recipe on how to grab these dudes, like this is the time, get you an athlete. They're stupid. They're stupid. This. And, yeah.
They like it raw.
Yeah,
they like it raw.
They don't use condoms. You want to come up, get you an athlete or get you a rapper.
Yeah, exactly. See, she just has made a fool of herself.
Nasty.
And clearly you can tell there's got to be something wrong. Like you said, Mona, some type of mental illness, whether it be, I don't know. She's definitely, maybe she had a lot of trauma in her life. I don't know, but it's definitely something wrong there. Why she's choosing this route.
I would also say that she's a sex addict. She probably has a sex addiction. She might be a nymphomaniac. But see, I don't like people that say that she's living in her truth and she's happy with how she's living her life and she planned it like this. She's the boss. She decided that these are the type of relationships that she has. And I'm going to say that's a lie. Any female that would self-confess to having a body count at 26 years old, her body count being 24 people. She said 11 athletes, 8 entertainers, 5 regular people, 3 of which were made less money than her. She slept with all those men. And there's no way you can have all those penises inside of you and you don't feel some type of way about it. But what's more disturbing for me is that she said she also has been with more women than she has been with men. So if that's true, and she has not included those women into that 24 count, Brittany is pushing 50 sexual partners. And the tragic thing about it for me is you're being licked and stuck by both genders, and neither gender, male or female, has tried to lock you down. So that, for me, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, that got to play some kind of way on your mental.
Yeah. And mind you, raw, physically.
That's the scary part.
Raw, which she always has said several times. So what type of diseases are you out there spreading?
Because she said that one week she had multiple sex partners in a week, and she had a nasty yeast infection.
Oh. Wow.
She said that on a YouTube video. She also said she's never going to stop having sex because she loves sucking penises. So she's just really nasty. And my thing is, you You can have all the sex you want to. You want to be a hoe, you want to be a hoe. If you want to have multiple penises in your vagina, go ahead and do that. But what about diseases? Because you got a yeast infection. What if the next time you get something that you can't cure?
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
And then you got to keep in mind, you passing this around to other people.
Are they
even
passing
your
it around to you?
Yes, and it's probably more than a yeast infection. It's probably chlamydia, trichomonas, or none of them other ones.
All them other ones. If you bragging about being
wrong
with rappers, and you saying rappers and athletes don't use condoms,
exactly.
and you know they smash multiple people. That's
Yeah. She just got Greene just spewing.
Oh, not the Greene.
She said Greene.
Not the Greene.
I think she's trapped in keeping up this perception of herself because this is the things that are getting her the most attention.
Yes.
This is the things that are keeping her with her followers because she can't go back and say, oh, you know, I sinned. I've seen the errors of my ways because what we have to think about is Brittany came out as a fitness instructor.
Right.
Have we seen one fitness one fitness video?
Not a one.
So she's not trained. She's not famous for being a fitness trainer. She just happens to be a little petite little girl who probably has a high metabolism and, you know, a couple of minutes of walking and she then lost 50 pounds.
Right.
And she's been known for being a slut.
Yeah.
So she has to keep up the facade of what she's talking about. Because she also did another video, and I think when you lie, you got to keep up with your lies. Because she's done so many different videos saying so many different things. She's all over the place. I think I saw a video where she said she's very insecure, so she uses her mouth and her body for a sense of power and control. So she's really a very wishy-washy, very unbalanced young lady. Let's go to the video that she had with DJ Academics, Adrianne, that you sent to us.
Wait, before you even get that, you got to talk about her saying, "Hey y'all, I'm about to go up to this college. Hide your sons.
Hide your sons.
Hide your sons."
See, you know what? Here's the thing with attention-seeking behaviors. Just like when you say she's a sex addict, you become addicted to that attention. And any attention is good attention to her. Mm-hmm. So saying stupid stuff like that and watch your son, see, you know.
Can you imagine being at PJ's mom? When you see that, though, like, you mother.
You want to beat that ass. That's what you want to do.
I told you not to mother.
This raggedy, trifling little
Now she
girl.
coming up off of your money.
Yeah, and it's like you don't want to. It's a part of you that feels sorry for her because how did you get here? And then there's this other part. It's like, girl, get it together. You were somebody's mother. You are somebody's mother.
And you already moving on. The ink ain't even dry and you already moving on. Like,
wow.
Hide your sons. You know, but go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to.
Yeah. No problem. I want to talk about the meltdown with the DJ Academics.
She was going off.
Okay.
And I think what initiated was the fact that what was his name?
DJ Academic.
Yeah, DJ Academic was talking about age difference, right? Between her and
he called her R. Shelley.
Yeah, R. Shelley, right? Because there was this huge age. He was comparing it to the age difference between Jay-Z and Beyonce, and how there's an age difference between what's the girl that's with Michael B. Jordan. Yes.
Yeah.
So she was trying to justify, I guess, that nobody says anything about
when
those
it's the
people.
Opposite.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was that double standard. She did make a valid point in that. But it was just the way that she went in on his. She went in. Yeah, I don't know. Do you recall exactly what she said?
I mean, she just, she was just saying, like, why doesn't anybody make a big deal when it's the opposite? When older men date younger women, no one says anything, which is true.
True.
We know there's a double standard. It's true. And she was just trying to say, like, how old was Jay-Z when he was with Beyonce, when they first got together? Big ass age difference.
Huge difference.
True. And
Huge
it's true. How old is Michael? She said Michael B. Jordan is 10 years older than Lori Harvey.
Right.
True. Mm-hmm. And she mentioned Mello and someone who he's dating, and I still don't even know who that person is.
Mello?
Yeah, that's her ex-husband now.
So, yeah.
But yeah, and so he's dating someone young, I'm going to assume. And so she made that point, and she was like, and I'm just 6 or 7 years older than PJ, so why is it a big deal? Why am I being called R. Shelley? And he was like, well, I think it's funny, but the reason why you're getting all this pushback is because you got with a man right out of college who was getting ready to go into the NBA. He hadn't even been able to like enjoy his adulthood yet, and now you got him trapped with a baby. Like you trapped him, and she's
intentional.
And so she's saying and swearing up and down, "I did not trap him. He was an adult. I was an adult. It wasn't like that." And it's like, nah, you older than him.
Yeah,
and
didn't nobody tell him to come in me and this?
Nobody
that,
told him
other.
to come. I was on birth control.
Yes.
And so he's like, so then you got off birth control.
Right.
And she was like, yeah, because he wanted to. He wanted kids. So you're going to let this young baby convince you
doing.
To have a child. No. You played him. You played him.
Yeah.
And she don't want to admit that. But she played him.
She did.
She played him.
Yeah. I did agree with the point about the double standard, though, because there is, this thing about, but yeah, she went in on him. Yeah.
She's rubbing her hands.
Uh-huh.
So the part about her saying if he wanted to get with this, if he wanted to hit it raw, if he wanted to come inside me, he should hold himself accountable for his actions. True statement. But they wasn't talking about him. They was talking about her.
Yeah.
And deflection is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
She deflected. She threw everybody under the bus, and she never held her own self accountable for her actions.
True.
So, are we to agree with a 26-year-old woman who is a seasoned woman who's dated men in their 30s? 40s. She went down. Her last boyfriend before PJ Washington was about 24 years old. I have never met a female, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, that at 26 goes to college searching for her guy,
Predator.
her soon-to-be husband,
Predator.
or
Nope.
the father of her child.
Nope.
I've never ever
Not
heard
a
of it.
26-year-old. No.
Not a 26-year-old.
She was on praying. Yeah,
was
exactly.
hunting.
She was on the prey looking
Yeah.
for. She knew what she was doing.
She knew who
like
he
she
was.
said, and it was. I was convinced of that when she said that whole thing about how to get an athlete and all this and that. She knew what she was doing.
Yep. Yep.
She premeditated it. She was very deceptive. She was very manipulative. He is 20 years old. You are 26. You've been hoeing around for a long time.
He's
you
immature.
know all the bells and whistles. You know all the right things to say. You know all the sexual positions that you could put that young boy in that had probably blew his mind, which maybe later on in his life he's going to come back and look back on and think it wasn't nothing.
Yes.
But you manipulated that situation.
did.
You whispered in his
advantage.
ear. You told him all the things that you wanted to do and how all people pegged you wrong, and you really wanted to be with him and start a family, and he fell for it. I absolutely believe that. Okay, so here's my thing. She said they were together 2 years, right?
Yeah.
That's 24 months, right?
Yeah.
Takes 9 months to make a baby, right? That leaves 15 months, right? When the hell did she get off or on birth control pills if she got on or off birth control pills?
Immediately.
Because here's the thing.
Thank you.
When you look at the timeline of their relationship, the baby came towards the end.
Right.
So
Right.
she had a whole 15 months. And normally when women are on birth control pills, it takes a minute for them to get
Exactly.
pregnant. So you mean to tell me, Brittany Renner, that for 15 months, that was your dude? You really was going to marry him? You really was going to have a family with him? So that whole 15 months, you guys were having unprotected sex. Was you on the pill then? When did you get off the pill?
Yes, exactly. Makes no sense.
Did you get off the pill once you found out this wasn't your dude? And then you got pregnant? Because I could kind of understand it if she had got pregnant right off the bat. And then she was around him because she said he asked her to move in. She got pregnant. They delivered the baby. They was in the same household together. They was going back and forth. They was going at it. They couldn't get along. But it didn't happen like that because as soon as she had the baby, she dipped, right?
Yeah, she sure did.
She did.
So what happened in the first 15 months? Well, did you find out that... See, I'm confused. Did you find out that it wasn't going to work after you got pregnant?
I don't even like the fact that here's this young guy that signs a contract with the NBA or whatever, where's his PR people? Where's his people that stand in his ear
I'm
and trying
sure.
to tell him, look?
I'm sure they told him, but let's be clear.
Yes.
Let's be clear with we have to admit, and we know this shit in our Black community. Who's the beautiful hierarchy? What does she look like?
Exactly.
So when you have someone that looks like that, that's
Yes.
coming at you, and you in college, you about to go to the NBA, so you know that level of attraction is about to
Right.
come your way. What does she look like? So I'm sure people told him. I'm sure his parents told him. I'm sure a lot of people in his ear is like, be careful.
Yes.
That's Brittany.
Exactly.
That's Brittany Renner, you know. But in his head, he's like, I got an older woman, a beautiful woman, coming at me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's doing, as Mona said, she's doing all these moves that I ain't never experienced before.
The squat,
and
the
she likes
scissors.
me. She
Right.
wants me. You know what I'm saying?
She
So-
said scissors.
not the scissors. But
Lord.
she wants me. So it's real simple how she played on this. She played on this weakness.
I'm gonna agree with Anisha. They probably did tell him, but all young men want notches on their on their belts, and who wouldn't want to have a celebrity
On her arm.
on his belt as somebody that he got with, and she wanted him, and he can brag about that. That's bragging rights. She's an influencer. She's famous. She's been with other high profile celebrities and stuff. Gets him in that genre of being, that kind of dude that the influencers of Instagram want to be with.
She's a fitness instructor.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. But yeah, and he, who wouldn't want to do it as a young man? They want to get that notoriety of being the dude, because once he gets with Brittany, all the other ladies will want to go get with him.
Yep.
So that opens the door for him to get all kind of vagina.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I really think that she did manipulate that young boy. She said she was spiritual. She talked about divine timing. Yeah, you spiritual. You're a spiritual demon.
Devil.
She's a divine
Used the
timing,
demon.
all right.
Yeah.
She used it to her advantage.
Divine timing in what? Divine timing.
How to get that baby? How to get that money?
Okay.
It's my divine timing to
How to
collect
use your
some money.
Kegel exercise and hold that
and get that money.
stuff in there.
Yeah.
Nasty heifer.
Divine timing to have a child out of wedlock. That's divine.
Listen, she not looking at out of wedlock.
She saw dollar signs.
She saw money.
Paper.
See, we looking at out of wedlock. Mm-hmm. She's looking at my life is secured for the next 18 years. Mm-hmm. Me and this child for the next 18 years. I don't have to want for shit.
She wanted the major come up. And if based on how her living was when she was growing up, this was a major come up for her.
Yep. And she got it.
Since she's addicted to the life, the attention, she just kept going with it, and it didn't faze her one bit.
Yeah, she was playing chess. He was playing sorry.
Yes,
they was playing
They
were playing two different damn games. And she said that she believes in transparency, that she believes in telling a man everything about her. Do you actually think, or does she actually want us to believe that she was so transparent that she showed that video that you spoke about where she said, if you want to secure the bag, get you a ball player. They're dumb as hell. And they don't use condoms. Does she actually want us to believe that she showed him that video and he said, bet?
I bet you he didn't even see that video.
Never seen it till all this stuff came out.
All this came out. I bet you he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, she's not transparent. She was very transparent.
Yeah.
In what she wanted.
Exactly. She
and
knew
what she
was
wanted.
doing. She knew what she was doing. Mm-hmm.
And she tried to cover it up by talking about they named the baby Junior.
The third.
Or whatever.
What is
was.
that?
Yeah. After him.
But
every man wants a junior.
Especially if it's a boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at George Foreman. How many Georges he got?
A bunch
His daughters
of them.
and
At least
sons.
9. Right.
And, like that was something significant.
Yeah.
Was that a ooze baby? Oh my God.
Just shows how. Okay then.
Hell yeah.
We done went on. We went on a tangent.
Okay. So yeah. Final thoughts, ladies. Final thoughts.
Be careful, athletes. Be on the lookout.
I would say be careful who you allow into your life. If you know that you're going into a position where you're going to acquire a large amount of wealth, protect your assets, protect your body,
Use a condom.
protect your sperm, protect yourself, men. And for the women, I mean, you shouldn't have to trap somebody into being with you. Like, just,
True.
you know, be yourself. You don't have to do that. And you don't need the attention just to, just be yourself. And don't think that you got a hold for the rest of your life just to, you know, consider yourself a success. I'll say that, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
My final thought would be this. Brittany Renner, I would compare her to a porta potty at a football stadium that people have been using all day and they forgot to pick up. She's full of shit. Stay away from her. Don't be like Brittany Renner. She is not the woman to aspire to be like. Like, share, subscribe. Leave us some comments in the comment section. Tell us what you think. Until the next episode, BGP, and we are out.
Bye.